What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Monday Night Raw review. Big things happen on the show tonight. Let's start it off with the Wyatts going against the Usos. Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan going against them. Pretty much this match ended real quickly as Harper and Rowan got involved, and then pretty much in disqualification, and the Usos were able to escape before Harper and Rowan took them out, and pretty much then Bray Wyatt hit the Sister Abigail on Daniel Bryan, then pretty much whispering something in his ear, and Bryan got on his knees, and he hit the Sister Abigail, and they rolled him out the ring and carried him to the back. So it's another loss for the Wyatts right there. John Cena, supposedly his first match in 2014, went against Damien Sandow. Cena won with the STF, hit up the FU, pretty much won the match, and then he hugged his dad right after. Pretty much the match for the Money in the Bank briefcase was better, but Cena still won the match. It was an alright match. Also tonight, Brad Maddox was talking to Kane in the back, sounding like it was a bad start for Raw, and he said, "Want to be a rematch tonight? Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt versus the Usos in a steel cage match." And Kane said he would be out there with the key to make sure the door will be locked. It'll be chained and locked, so he pretty much had a key, and he would be out there then. Big Show went against Jack Swagger. Big Show won real quick with a choke slam, and then he held Zeb Coulter, was about to knock him out, and Cesaro tried to save him, but Big Show threw him out the ring there, and he held Zeb Coulter, and he pretty much winded his fist back, and he knocked him out then. So he knocked him out pretty much. He knocked out Zeb Coulter for no reason. Why did you knock him out? I don't know why. I guess to have fun with it, but doesn't really believe how he's going to go against Brock Lesnar when this happens if he's goofing off like that. More Batista videos for the return, talking about him. Rematch from SmackDown. Rematch from SmackDown. CM Punk and the New Age Outlaws went against the Shield. Pretty much a really great match. I gotta say, Roman Reigns. Let me tell you how great this drop kick was, how out of the ordinary it was. Pretty much, CM Punk, how Rey Mysterio will put people, again, set him up for the 619. Sitting right there, Punk. Pretty much Roman Reigns outside running, doing a double drop kick, landing on the apron on his back, which was an awesome move. I gotta point that out right there. But pretty much CM Punk was about to hit the tag, but the New Age Outlaws just dropped from the ring apron and left him, almost like a heel turn almost, supposedly. So CM Punk was left to high and dry, and pretty much he looked at the Shield, then pretty much he tried to fight off the Shield, but Punk got speared by Reigns, and then they did the power bomb on him. So it was a very crazy way of taking him out right there. So they remember with the power bomb, so like everybody was turned on CM Punk, and why did the Outlaws do it? We don't know. Pretty much maybe Triple H told him to, most supposedly, or the Authority, and they could reform the McMahon-Helmsley faction again like they did before, since I guess now Triple H is going to reform all his little DX buddies and make it back in 99 2000 again. Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan in the back. Bray Wyatt cut this promo about society, how they were holding them back, now society's trying to control us, and we are monsters, and we will take them down when they put them in that cage and stuff. So the Wyatts are really hyped to go against the Usos tonight. AJ and Tamina went against the Funkadactyls. Emma from NXT was in the crowd as they acknowledged her. Pretty much AJ went with the Shining Wizard on Cameron. Tamina's up here power bomb, but Naomi came in, cleared house, and made the save then. Orton was looking for the Authority in the back, saying he's got John Cena to go against that the Rumble. He's got Brock Lesnar coming after him, and now Batista's coming back, so he's coming after the title also. So everybody's gunning for Randy Orton, and pretty much says where was the Authority, and Kane said they weren't here. So you can take your frustrations out on Kofi Kingston tonight. And he says good. And now I would like to also announce the first inductee to the 2014 Hall of Fame, the Ultimate Warrior. So, really huge announcement right there. Someone told me Ultimate Warrior or Macho Man had to be in the Hall of Fame. I wasn't going to say which one, but I had to be right on one of them. And Ultimate Warrior is in this since he's already turned it down. People say he doesn't deserve to be in it, and many people said that Ultimate Warrior doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, and he's turned it down, they said many times, and he's been against Vince McMahon, but he's friends with Vince McMahon now, again, since he was in the 2K14 video game. So the Ultimate Warrior is back, and he will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. 18 years since he's been to WWE, so he will be back. The Warrior has been inducted into the 2014 Hall of Fame. Huge announcement. Paul Heyman was in the back talking about how him and Brock Lesnar are not impressed of beating up Jack Swagger, even though he's a D1 whatever division student. He's not an NCAA champion like Brock Lesnar, and beating up an elderly illegitimate grandpa like Jeff Coulter. So him and Brock Lesnar are not impressed by the Big Show. Orton went against Kingston, and pretty much Orton dominated through the entire match until Kofi hit almost like a botched SOS it looked like, and won the match out of nowhere, surprisingly, even though Orton was dodging all of his moves. But pretty much Orton got all pissed and he was breaking the announce table and kicking over the steps until he started beating up John Cena's dad then, and pretty much Cena came out for the save, but Orton pretty much ran off then. He tried to help his dad off, and they went to the hospital on a stretcher then, getting him out of there. So yeah, Cody Rhodes and Goldust went against Ryback and Curtis Axel. Pretty much hit the crossroads on Axel, won the match. They will be in the Royal Rumble, by the way. Rey Mysterio when he gets Alberto Del Rio. Really good match, I'll say that. Pretty much Del Rio pretty much dies after the 619 and kicked Mysterio in the face, hitting the cross arm breaker, winning, saying, "This is all you get me, your little friend Rey Mysterio, Batista." And he said he vowed to throw Batista out of Rumble because he was tired of hearing about Batista, and he said he would take Batista out. So yeah. CM Punk would ask Kane where the authority was, because he said Hunter can handle his own problems if he wants to handle CM Punk. He doesn't need you, he doesn't need Stephanie, he doesn't need your 5 hired assassins, you don't need the Shield, and he doesn't need the Outlaws to hide behind. And he wanted to know where the authority was now, and Kane says he doesn't know what he's talking about, but the authority says you have the opportunity to headline WrestleMania if you can win the Royal Rumble. And CM Punk says that's good, but you know, he doesn't like him. And I would say this Friday on SmackDown, the New Age Outlaws will go against Cody Rhodes and Goldust this Friday. Why not for the tag team champions? I don't know, but I think the Outlaws are back, and I will say they will be going for the tag team championships. I must say that. I don't know how, but I believe it will happen. So the Outlaws will go against Cody Rhodes and Goldust this Friday on SmackDown. So I'm ready to see that, since I guess the Outlaws are healed now. I'm really excited now to see that. Cena's dad pretty much had a orbital eye socket fracture, and said his heart was okay for some reason, even though he was never hit in the chest. And they looked at Jerry Lawler. I know they're trying to take a shot at Lawler with the heart thing and the heart attack, but I don't know. The Wyatts went against the Usos in a cage match then. Pretty much the Usos were able to win the cage match and escape the Wyatts again. And then Bryan and Wyatt were in the ring. Pretty much Bray Wyatt, I think the Sister Abigail on him again. He was getting the Sister Abigail on him, and pretty much Bryan had his arms up and he had them in his hands, but Bryan broke out, and then Wyatt says, hit me, and he called him a coward. Then as Bryan backed up, and then Wyatt tried to charge into Bryan, but Daniel Bryan started punching him then, and pretty much hitting multiple drop kicks on him on the top rope, on the ropes, and turnbuckle, you know what I mean. And then pretty much did the kicks, and everybody chanting, yes, 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 and he threw him into a cage and knocked over both Wyatts then, and pretty much as he kicked the living shit out of him, pretty much he took off the overalls, and now he became Daniel Bryan again, and he went in the corner to do the kick. He pretty much did the whole yes thing as everybody in the crowd, which looked very cool, by the way, went yes, yes, yes from slow to top, hit the knee, huge ovation. So Bryan was able to hit the kick, and take out the Wyatts, and he climbed the top of the cage and chanted, yes, 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 knowing that the real Daniel Bryan is back, which whatever plans they had for Daniel Bryan and the Wyatts, just let they had thrown out the window, because it's very weird how Daniel Bryan wanted to join the Wyatts in the first place, and now he's left the Wyatts, and they only lasted 2 weeks, by the way, and they didn't even win a match. When Bryan even joined him, there was no match won. Who won? Not, I don't know why. What happened there? But it didn't make sense. I don't know why. It's very strange to why that happened, but it just Raw was all over the place tonight. From the Outlaws doing a heel turn, from Orton surprisingly losing that match, and now Daniel Bryan somehow wasn't even at the Wyatts that long, and the Wyatts and Bryan didn't even do that much to even have Daniel Bryan turn back to normal in a way. But for some reason, I guess the ball was just dropping. They just put Daniel Bryan being Daniel Bryan, and we all knew he was over, and the crowd kept cheering him. It just didn't make sense, but it did look cool at the end, though. It just didn't make sense to know what happened. Didn't make sense. But Batista will be back next week on Raw, so let's all look out for that. And it's Friday on SmackDown. The Outlaws will go against Goldust and Cody Rhodes, and we got the Royal Rumble coming up. So once again, comment, subscribe. You know it's me, the HOOD. So you know what the news is. Came and I saw. We're done with this review of Monday Night Raw. So make sure, like I said, subscribe. Big news night. Anything what you want to say about even one of the biggest news. I almost forgot to say. Also one of the biggest news tonight. Ultimate Warrior being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So yeah. So it's real big things happening. So tell me what you thought about the show, and tell me what you thought about the show tonight. My show and the show. You all know what I mean. So I'm gonna see you guys later. I'm out of here. Peace.